Because he sent out a tweet very recently, which kind of shows his hypocrisy for how he treats Arkham Knight compared to other things, and it's right here. So basically, he was complaining about people criticizing Spider-Man movies, and he had this to say for it. And to all the rest, please look up these terms/ideas and keep them in mind for future Spidey discourse, referring to the movies. Suspension of disbelief, Thermian argument, authorial intent, fiction, maybe just a basic understanding of how CGI works, how to socialize with other human beings, showering. You saw taking away all how much of a smug bitch he's being over people criticizing Spider-Man movies that he likes. Keep those words in mind because it at most shows how much of a fucking hypocrite this guy is. See, before we continue, let's talk about what our thoughts of Arkham Knight is as a story. You want to go first, or should I?
You go first. I am still replaying through the game, so.
All right, so I haven't played through the story for a very long time, but from what I remember from it, I remember it being pretty strong. I actually think it's probably the strongest story out of the other Arkham games when it comes down to it. I think it has like the best character arc for Batman and all that. I think like the villains are a little bit more fleshed out this time around, and they're used a little bit more appropriately. And yeah, I think how the city gets locked down this time is a little bit more believable than what happened in City. Because in Arkham City, the problem is like it's a little bit legally dubious how Hugo Strange or even the League of Assassins were able to make a city-wide prison that thugs can run around in and shoot people. Like, how's there like no lawsuits or anything for this happening? They just give them Protocol 10, but that's a different discussion. I think like people overreact to the reveal of Arkham Knight. Like people whine and bitch about how predictable it is when that was kind of the point. Like he wasn't supposed to be an unpredictable villain in the context of the story being told. He was supposed to be like someone we have a feeling. Like we're supposed to have a feeling that he was Jason Todd the whole time. But the whole point is like, you know, like seeing like how the events unfold for him to become Jason Todd and what that means for the story in Batman. So yeah, most of the criticisms I've ever heard is bitching about the Batmobile, which I think is like very unwarranted, because the Batmobile, they never approve why the mechanics are bad or at all. They just say it's boring or it's not Batman, which is a fucking worthless argument. I never really hear any criticisms for the story besides this video. So what's your take on Arkham Knight?
I'm not completely unsure if it has the best story in the series, but I definitely think I agree with you on your position on like the whole point of Arkham Knight being revealed as Jason Todd, being too predictable is like doesn't make sense. I mean, there's a section in the game where he's reminiscent. Well, he's remembering the video Joker sent. You even see him like looking in the flashback of like Joker beating up and torturing Jason. So I thought from there you can clearly tell, yeah, Jason has to play some role in the story, and he's the Arkham Knight. There might be. I don't agree with the whole Batmobile argument that much. So yeah, I would overall say I agree with you. I'm just not entirely sure where I would. I would say at least the story's better than Arkham Asylum. I'm not entirely sure about City, though. I could see it. I would probably also say it's better than Origins. Just I'm not entirely sure about City.
Yeah, just the thing about Arkham Knight is I keep hearing from certain people that the story's bad, but I've never really gotten a good explanation why. And this video does a bad job of doing it. Like, I've never seen anyone, like, break down why the story sucks. So I just never really understand why people say it's bad. And that's, like, the main reason I'm doing this video, because this is the only argument I've ever heard, and I think it's really badly made.
Was a guy you had already successfully beaten up like 4 hours ago. Kinda took the impact out of it.
Wow. Fucking 39 seconds, and already he made a bad point. So he's criticizing Arkham City for fucking Rachel Gould getting beaten up, and it's like, oh, the impact of the reveal sucks because of it. Like, are you kidding me? Like, the whole point is Rachel Gould is behind it all, and, like, his plan is working. In that very instance, Batman had no idea how to stop Protocol 10, and Rachel Gould reveals himself because he's basically won. The only reason it stops is because Hugo Strange blows up the tower and betrays Strange at Ra's al Ghul at the end.
Yeah, and
So
it's
I
not
don't
like
really
it
mean
doesn't.
by there's no impact of it.
Yeah, and it's not like it doesn't make sense. I mean, this whole thing with Protocol 10 was like eliminating the corruption out of Gotham, and they were planning to do it to other cities. And Ra's al Ghul is all about wiping out the corruption within humanity. So why
Also,
wouldn't he
also
be?
like, also it's like,
Involved with-
with that logic, then why the fuck is the Joker the main villain of this game? Didn't he get beat up in Arkham Asylum?
Yeah,
It's such a bad
I mean,
argument. Like just because Ra's al Ghul gets beaten up in a fight scene where he wanted to die, keep in mind, he wanted to lose that fight. Apparently, like that's a problem. Like you can see already how fucking dumb his arguments are in this fucking video. I know this isn't Arkham Knight, but Jesus Christ, that was awful. What a bad point. Oh, so a villain gets beat up so they can't ever be a threat ever again. You know this guy reads comics and he has this argument. Like Godzilla, you do realize you read comics, and you've stated this multiple times in your videos. If you read the comics, shouldn't you always have a problem with reintroducing one of Spider-Man's iconic rogues gallery? Because why are you doing that? Spider-Man already beat him up. There's no impact at all with them coming back. He'll just beat him up again.
I'd also like to note that with the sudden influx of character deaths, it was apparent that the Arkham games were now in their own universe, and that thing that I liked about Arkham Asylum is now null and void.
Arkham Asylum, there's a lot of differences with the characters. Like, you could never imagine Bane from being in the comics from Arkham Asylum, for example.
I mean,
Plus, if
no.
if it was in the comics, wouldn't the Titan formula be important for the comics? Wouldn't that be a thing if that was the case? The Arkham games were never planning on having this interpretive bullshit where, it could be from the animated series. It's like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? Harley Quinn literally gets like a new outfit in Arkham Asylum to make sure that people know this isn't the same universe, but he fucking thinks that you could have interpreted it. It's like, no, like they never fucking state this. This was never a plan of theirs.
So Joker is the villain of the first game, is basically the villain of the second game, then shows up and steals the spotlight as the villain in the third game, and then in the fourth game, he's the main villain.
No.
He's just an hallucination.
He's not even there. He's dead. This is Batman's psyche. That's such a stupid argument. He's not even the main villain.
Main villain is Scarecrow in the Arkham Knight.
Scarecrow was a threat through the entire game, and he was like the final battle. It wasn't the Joker. He beats Scarecrow at the end. So what the fuck are you talking about? Plus, the game is literally titled The Arkham Knight, and the Arkham Knight is like the looming threat you've been going after the entire story. Joker's not the main villain. He's an important villain, but he's not the main villain of the fucking story. That's such bullshit. He's not even like technically alive. Like in the game, they make it very clear that this is all just in Batman's head. Like Joker isn't alive or anything, and he's not even doing anything. The main threat comes from Arkham Knight and Scarecrow. And even if you want to argue like, well, the Joker's the one he like has to like, mentally, overcome in the game, I can disagree with that because it's like he also had to mentally overcome his failure of Jason Todd. Jason Todd was a very personal like threat for him in the game. The Joker just has a part in the story. He's not even the main focus or the main villain. That's such a stupid fucking argument. And you know what? What if he was? Like, what does this mean? Yeah, all the Arkham games, Joker's the main villain. Like, that doesn't mean the story that's not a problem with the story. That's just a problem with the meta sense of who they keep choosing to be the villain. It's like, yeah, it's not like it doesn't make sense that Joker's here.
If someone once had the gall to say, Batman has all the best villains, why can't we get any of that in these games? It's like everyone...
Looks like the Spider-Man fanboy is butthurt to me, boys. Yeah, the reason why the Joker's used a lot in media is because of how iconic he is. And it's funny, because this happens with every fucking superhero who has an iconic villain. Who do you usually see when you have a fucking Spider-Man video game? It's called Venom. Who do you usually see when Captain America has a piece of media? The Red Skull. Who does Superman usually fight in media? Lex Luthor. Usually in media, the supervillains that they use is usually the most popular at the time. So that's why they used the Joker, because he's very iconic and popular and everybody likes him. That has nothing to do with Batman's Rogues Gallery. And yes, there has been stories with other Rogues Galleries. If you read the comics or the animated series and stuff, they clearly do put a lot of time and passion in the other villains and why they're good. Yeah, I think anyone can have the gall to say Batman has the best Rogues Gallery, because all of his other villains are just as developed. Like, people still remember Two-Face and how good he is. Bane is a fan favorite. Same goes for Ra's al Ghul.
Nah, it's like Birth of the Demon. I was just thinking of just stories with other popular stories of Batman that involve other rogues villains, you know? Just for example, in the comics. So it's like Joker's not the only popular one.
Everyone else is just a B-lister that's worthy of being Batman's grocery list of extra bullshit.
Holy fuck. Yeah, because Scarecrow and Arkham Knight are B-listers in the fucking game. It's like, no, that's not the case. You're just making shit up. Like, Penguin in Arkham City was treated as a really big threat in the game. Like, he was treated extremely seriously, and Batman had to put all of his attention to taking out Penguin in the middle of the story, because he's that much of a problem.
He was able to get his hands on Solomon Grundy, for example, and also capture Mr. Freeze, which was pivotal, because without because that means that he has to go there, take down Penguin, in order to retrieve back Mr. Freeze to create the cure, which just goes to show how much of a threat he was.
Exactly. It's like Penguin was winning the gang war in Arkham City. They don't just sideline the other villains for the Joker in this franchise, or even in Batman in general. Like, Penguin was winning. Joker was losing that war. Batman stopped Penguin from winning by taking him down. Like, he needed the superhero to stop him, or else he would have won the war in Arkham City. So it's just a bunch of bullshit. It's like, yeah, just because Joker's the main villain in these games doesn't mean everyone else is a fucking B-lister. Such a stupid argument. How's about the fact that Poison Ivy, like, was built up in Arkham Asylum, and then when you fight her, you fight this massive flower monster thingy. Or the setup for, like, Killer Croc in this scary ass sewers, or when you're fighting, like, Scarecrow with the illusions and stuff in Arkham Asylum. Or how's about just in Arkham Knight when Scarecrow completely took over all of Gotham City? How is that a fucking B-lister? Like, Godzilla, just because, like, they focus more on another villain doesn't mean that the villain beforehand is a B-lister. That's like saying that fucking Vulture is a B-lister in Spider-Man PS4 because Dr. Octopus is the main bad guy in the story in Spider-Man PS4. It's like, no, it just means that they're focusing on a different character. It's such a fucking worthless statement he's saying.
Just a minor scuffle in an office where no one gets killed?
What does this have to do with the story of Arkham Knight? That's one side mission. Seriously, I could do this with any of the Arkham games too. Like, what about in Arkham City when there's literally a mission where you walk through a door, you grab a gadget you'll never use, and you walk out? That's literally a side mission. But he's complaining about the Hush one? Like, god damn it, man. There's so many side missions in the Arkham games that are fucking garbage. So, look, why is Arkham Knight the only one that gets this treatment of being shat on because the side missions weren't fucking 10 out of 10 masterpieces? Yeah, this one sucks, but what, are we gonna ignore the fucking Professor Pig side mission? Are we gonna ignore the, like, are we gonna ignore the bank heist missions with Two-Face? Or the missions where you team up with Nightwing to take out fucking Penguin? Or what about the Azrael arc? That was great, when you get to play as Azrael and you can't get hit, and then you get 2 different endings. Nah, let's just talk about this one mission that sucks.
Yeah, then there's also the DLC as well.
And you know what? If Hush was the main villain in Arkham Knight, that would be fucking retarded, because that would require people to play a side mission and optional content in City to understand what the fuck is happening in the next game.
Yeah, really wouldn't make any sense.
Continue.
Okay then. Paul Dini left the series and none of the new writers cared enough to try something new and different.
They didn't try to do anything new and different. So Batman seeing an envisionment a vision of the Joker, taunting him every time he makes a mistake in the game, betraying his friends and family, revealing to Commissioner Gordon he's been using his daughter to fight crime, and then eventually giving up his identity at the end of the game and possibly getting himself killed isn't taking risks. Turning a fan-favorite anti-hero into a ruthless supervillain that is willing to kill innocent people just to get vengeance on Batman isn't taking risks. like get the fuck out of here. Like seriously.
I don't
Arkham Knight's not taking risks because the Joker's in it. Let's forget about a whole entire fucking story for this.
Batman's at the end of the game. Batman gives up his identity. Everyone knows he's Bruce Wayne now. On top of it, they also
Batman basically dies in this fucking game, but it doesn't take risks.
With no baggage from the comics or continuity to dance around, they had a perfect clean slate and a ton of possibilities for new avenues to explore in a Gotham without the Joker. Then they loosely adapt.
Yeah.
How's it okay? How's this Under the Red Hood? I don't understand.
Hold up, a Gotham without a Joker. So wouldn't those consequences be that other villains would be able to do worse things and have more avenues to do more crime because they're not afraid of the Joker interfering with them? And that would cause Gotham City to be in chaos because Scarecrow was able to get a militia.
Yeah, like Scarecrow getting a militia, a gang war between...
Thanks to what happens to the Joker dying and what Joker did to Jason, that causes the militia to take over Gotham City in this game and causes Scarecrow to be able to gain power enough to become a real threat. Also, Batman's mental state has been dampened a little bit thanks to the events of Joker's death, to the point where he has an insecurity of becoming something like the Joker, that the fear toxin makes him envision. How is this not like telling us what the world without the Joker would be like? Like, once again, why do they have to tell that story? And no, they're not loosely fucking writing. They're not doing a loosely based story on fucking Under the Red Hood. Under the Red Hood is about Jason Todd taking over all of crime and becoming the kingpin of Gotham City, and then trying to prove to Batman that he's a better vigilante by doing his methods. That's not what the story of Arkham Knight is. Arkham Knight isn't trying to fucking take over all of crime or anything. He's trying to gain a militia force to kill Batman and basically ruin the morale of his city to break him first. He wants to break him, then kill him, because he wants vengeance on him. Because the Joker turned him into a monster. That's the point. And that's really different from Under the Red Hood. They turned an anti-hero into a fucking supervillain that's willing to murder people.
Whereas Under the Red Hood, he just wanted to prove he can be a better vigilante Batman, and to prove that he's been killing people from Black Masks organizations, like criminals, and that's the whole gist. He's proving he's being the better Batman by doing that. He's basically taking all the things Bruce has taught him and using it to be a ruthless vigilante. Whereas in Arkham Knight, he's trying to help Scarecrow in destroying Gotham and killing Bruce Wayne, causing chaos.
Yeah, Jason Todd in this game lost all of his morals. He doesn't care about innocence or anything. He just focuses on one thing, and that's killing Batman, and he doesn't care what happens to do it. Like, Under the Red Hood is, what if one of Batman's students decided to stand against everything that Batman stands for? Arkham Knight is about, what if one of Batman's students became a villain, became evil, because he got broke by the Joker? Those are two very different stories, and they're very fucking different of how it's executed and what happens in them. Like, there's a very high difference between the two stories. But nah, it's Jason Todd, and he fights Batman. This is Under the Red Hood, guys. Jesus fucking Christ.
Adapted a comedy and shoved Joker into it, even when it made no sense, and all it did was serve a contrived function in the plot.
Okay, explain how it makes no sense that Joker is here. It's not even the Joker. It's Batman's embodiment of the Joker, but... Tell me how it makes no sense, because the game justifies this really well, actually.
But its place in the story is to effectively handicap Batman when faced with villains he would mop the floor with.
You're showing a scene where Scarecrow gets fucking... You're showing a scene where Scarecrow actively tricks Batman. That's not the joke. Joker didn't fucking do anything there. Yeah, you see the Joker's face when he turns over the fucking cloak, but that's not because that's not the Joker tricking him. That's Batman already falling for the trick, and then the Joker just fucking mocks him for it. The scenario was Batman sees two Scarecrows, and he has to choose one to attack. Even if he wasn't infected by any Joker, if he wasn't seeing the Joker or anything, and he wasn't hindered, what makes you think he'll fucking make the right choice in a 50-50 chance? Unless you want to say that Joker created two Scarecrows there, But that would make even less sense too, because then why would Scarecrow not notice that Batman went through the door? So no, Scarecrow clearly had this trap for Batman, and Batman fell for it. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The Joker didn't do anything to help Scarecrow at all.
Its place in the story is to effectively handicap Batman when faced with villains he would mop the floor with on any other day.
Villains you would mop the floor with in any other day. Well, with the Scarecrow, that would be arguable, especially in Arkham Asylum when he was giving him a pretty hefty challenge. What makes you think Batman's gonna have an easy time taking down his own student who knows his tactics and fighting style with a fucking militarized army controlling all of Gotham? He's not gonna take that out any other day. He's gonna have fucking trouble, Joker or no Joker.
Exactly. Not to mention Jason's working alongside Scarecrow, so Scarecrow probably knows more advanced. He probably has more advanced strategies or plans to take care of Batman. I mean, that's how he was able to remember when Batman first confronts Scarecrow and thinks he has the hand now because he stopped him from activating the facility or whatever.
Are you talking about Ace Chemicals?
Yeah, Ace Chemicals, my bad. Fuck.
Yeah, Scarecrow already knew where Barbara Gordon was. Yeah, this is not an easy fight for Batman. And that was before he saw the Joker.
Exactly.
Before the Joker interfered with anything, one of Batman's closest friends could have been fucking murdered. And he almost died. Like, Batman was willing to let himself die in that scene. Like, Scarecrow actually trapped him to a place where he either had to die or let the city burn. So Scarecrow almost killed him there. Like, already, before Joker was a thing. So this is just fucking bullshit. Scarecrow is very capable of being a threat for Batman for an entire game. And more importantly, Jason Todd is definitely a fucking threat for an entire game. If someone who can fight just as well as Batman, think just as tactically, and knows his strengths and weaknesses, and can go against his loved ones, that's a fucking hard fight. That's worth a video game for. That's worth an entire game for. Because that's a lot of stuff he has to deal with. That's a lot of challenge for Batman.
An imaginary friend for Bruce seems to be just because Batman gets...
No, they explain why he sees Joker.
A dose of Scarecrow's fear toxin, and instead of putting him into a nightmarish drug trip wonderland like it always does, it makes him manifest...
It's actually stated that Scarecrow is using a different form of fear toxin this time in the game. This is justified in the story. It's justified in the text, dude. He used a different heightened version that lasts longer, but doesn't put him in a drug wonderland dreamland. Because he knows that doesn't work, because in Arkham Asylum, he stated he put enough toxins to make 10 men go insane, and it didn't work. So why would he try the same tactic again? He's using a different fear toxin that's more lingering.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. He upgraded his fear toxin in Arkham Knight. This has been established. Plus, he's not just seeing the Joker because of the fear toxin. He's seeing the Joker because he's afraid of becoming the Joker ever since he got injected by the Joker's blood, and seeing how it worked on other people. It's a psychological thing.
If there's any way to have all the tension in a scene disappear instantly, it would be to have Mark Hamill's Joker voice coming out of Batman's mouth.
So there's no tension in Batman almost killing a bunch of militia thugs and acting as the Joker. There's no tension there because it's Mark Hamill's voice. Oh, okay, more importantly, so the voice of a serial killer is coming out of Batman right now, but there's no tension there. Like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? No, it's Mark Hamill, so... Yeah, Mark Hamill sounds like a very convincing Joker when he's willing to murder people. Did you hear him in Arkham Asylum?
B-plot of the game decides to offer an additional reason for him being there.
Oh my god.
And that's because Batman is slowly turning into the Joker.
Oh no. The last Joker. There we go.
Why? Because fuck consistency! Joker was dying in Arkham City because he pumped himself full of the Titan formula and to turn him into this.
Yes. Here's a problem already. You're just assuming that he's gonna die, or he's dying from the Titan because it fucked up his body. That's actually not stated. His body healed decently fine, actually. There's only minor scarring. The real reason why he's dying is because the Titan is still in his bloodstream, and it's turning toxic. So his bloodstream is becoming poison. His blood's turning into poison. That's why he's dying in Arkham City. So this already establishes that the Titan formula can mutate into other properties, And what happens in Arkham Knight is what happens in Arkham Knight is basically the blood mutates even further after the process of turning into to the blood turning toxic and poisoning your bloodstream. It changes into something that goes to the brain. It mutates to a brain disease, which is called Utes-Jakob disease. Batman even says this in the game. It's a mutated form of Utes-Jakob disease, which alters the personality of someone's brain chemistry, makes them a different person. That's what happens to the patients from Joker's blood. The reason why Batman sees the Joker is because the fear toxin's making him afraid of seeing that. And the reason why his eyes are glowing green is because that's just the side effect of Titan. If you look at people who take Titan, their eyes glow green when they're getting it injected. Batman got injected by it twice in the whole Arkham series. In Arkham Asylum by the Joker, and in Arkham City by Joker's blood. So he already has more than enough amount of Titan formula to have side effects, and the main side effect that it really has is eye color change in minor forms. That's because the cure didn't fully work on him. It doesn't it took away the aspects that would mess him up and ruin his body, but it still gave him the eyes that can go green a couple times.
But it's clearly well established that right after when he tried to reduce the when he filled the whole thing in Ace chemicals, right after when he escaped, he was already exposed to the fear gas inside there when he was trying to reduce the radius impact from the cloudburster. So it's not like the Joker just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, they do explain it. Also,
well, I mean, they show it. It's kind of quite obvious. It's like, oh shit, he got exposed to a fear toxin, and now he's seeing the Joker hallucinations.
Also, I like that people would criticize Arkham Knight for this, but this is established in City that he starts believing in that he starts seeing the Joker. In Arkham City, when he's about to brutalize Mr. Freeze, he sees the Joker on his face.
Decides to donate a ton of his poisoned blood to both Batman and Gotham's hospitals. The Titan formula was what made him and Batman so sickly. Not just that it was Joker's blood. In fact, Joker's blood should be fine on its own. Aside from his looks, he's just...
The game doesn't say it's Joker's blood that's doing this. The game clearly knows that the blood has Titan in it. It's the Titan formula that does this, you fucking knob. Look, he's gonna completely straw man the story right here.
Just a human. The chemicals at the factory changed his skin pigment and hair color when he fell in.
Yeah.
It's not like he was bitten by a radioactive clown. So Arkham Knight...
Hold up. It's like, okay, here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing. When in Arkham Knight does it ever state that the Ace Chemicals bath dip that Joker went through made his blood be able to infect other people? The game never stated that. What are you talking about, Godzilla? The game has never stated Joker's blood because of Ace Chemicals can turn you into the fucking Joker.
It's just because of the Titan plus in Arkham Knight. It's also because it's being double enhanced because of the Batman's fear, which is again by Scarecrow's new fear gas or new variant of it.
Yeah, it's fear toxin. Batman's not actually turning into the Joker. That's why he was able to overcome it in the end of the game. All you need is simple logical deduction from the whole Arkham series to figure this out. Because this game is acting as if you know the other games. That's why these criticisms are so fucking garbage.
No reason at all. Joker's blood is now making a few random people turn into him. Wait, what? What?
I looked up the scene. Batman explains this. Utes-Jakob disease being mutated turned them into the Joker. The reason why this is happening is because these people were informed that they got injected by the Joker's blood, but thanks to the infectious disease to their brain, it made them convince themselves they're the Joker. It's the same thing Batman's going through. It's a psychological thing that it's making you think you're the Joker. The reason why these people actually became the Joker is because they actually had a brain disease going on. Their personality was changing, and it decided to change into certain forms of the Joker. If you notice, not all of them act the same. They all have different proportions of the Joker, because that's how these people interpret what the Joker was before he died. That's why we have 4 very drastically different fucking Jokers in, the testing room. Because it's just some brain disease. They've altered their personality to be something resembling the Joker.
Why? Let's think about that for a second. Joker's entire personality and complexion can be recreated by a botched blood transfusion?
No, it's the fucking Titan formula and the circumstances. And to be clear, It's not a normal Mutziakov disease. It's an altered version. It's a mutated version. That's what Batman states. So that means it's like a different. It's a version that probably makes you specifically think of it makes you mentally make you who you think you are. It's the mentally thinking they're the Joker, and then they become the Joker thanks to the disease in their brain.
Or wait, that undermines the entire appeal of the Joker as a character if he can be just duplicated that easily. Does that mean...
Once again, this is all wrong. You're ignoring the context and the circumstances that made these things happen.
That Joker's mental problems aren't real and are just a side effect of the chemicals? Okay.
No, once again, the game never says anything like this.
Why did the poison in the Titan formula not kill these people as opposed to the hundreds that...
Because Batman stated this, it mutated into something else in the game. That's why it changed them. And once again, the reason they all act like the Joker, or the poison makes them turn into the Joker, is because they know they got infected by Joker's blood, so they convinced themselves that they were the Joker. Just their interpretations. This is why they all act differently as the Joker.
If Batman drank the cure that is literally made from the Fountain of Youth, would that not just mean he's fine? Why does...
Yeah, which is using Ra's al Ghul's blood, which has regenerative properties. That's a physical thing. It's physically regenerating your body. And yes, it does cure all the toxic problems with Titan. That's why Batman doesn't turn into the Joker in the game. The problem is the other people didn't get the cure, the ones that actually become the Joker. So what's the contradiction? Like, let's use more critical thinking. When did Batman started, quote-unquote, turning into the Joker? When he got hit by the fear toxin, right?
Yeah.
Pretty coincidental. Batman's 100% fine until the fear gas takes him over. Almost like he's not actually turning into the fucking Joker, because that would make no sense. Also, if Batman was turning into the Joker, wouldn't he become the Joker at the same time as the other Joker inmates that Batman has captured? Because Batman's gotten it even earlier than those guys gotten it. So that would mean, yeah, it would be even sooner. And the only reason why Tim Drake, because I know Tim Drake says, you're the last Joker. The reason why Tim Drake believed that was because, first of all, he knows that Batman is the smartest person he knows. So he would usually trust his judgment, even if it's Batman is wrong, which he is, because he's just afraid. And secondly, that's because he saw the eye color change.
Even if he beat the mental aspects of this stupid disease, won't he still have to deal with the physical aspects of... You know...
What physical aspects, by the way? It's not even clear if these people painted their faces like this and dyed their hair, or if that was actually a thing that was going on. I'm more inclined to believe that they painted their face, because I think you could see that their hands are normal color.
This story decides to make so many unjustifiable leaps in logic that asking real questions about it is only wasting time. However, I am an expert.
I literally justified all of it, and I explained the logic and all of it. You just don't pay attention to the story.
At wasting time. Gee, I need to figure out where they could possibly be producing factory-sized quantities of this dangerous chemical. Oh look, this spy plane and scanner equipment told me it's the local chemical factory.
Yeah, because there's only one chemical factory in all of Gotham. The thing too, in this game, there's literally another factory-sized place that he can get high quantities of the fear toxin, and that would be Stag's fucking airship. So, wow, once again, what a stupid argument. Even in the game, there's more than one factory-sized facility full of fear toxin.
Yeah, it's not... It's just not paying attention to the game.
Besides,
literally in that scene when he throws the battering, he says, yeah, there's multiple locations. Might as well use this radio frequency to find, something akin to that, to find where exactly Scarecrow's most likely hiding.
Yeah, by the way, also in Gotham City, what if he had a hidden factory? Wait a second. All right, so before I continue, so he says something about leaps of logic, right, with the Joker toxin and how overcomplicated it is, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Xavier, why don't you use suspension of disbelief?
Or, just say the fact
or,
that
hey,
it's just...
Xavier, it's fiction.
It's not real.
It's fiction, dude.
It's not real.
Why are you taking this so seriously? Why can't you look up these terms and ideas and keep them in mind for future Batman discourse, dude?
Is entering his drywall and have about as much motivation to destroy the city and kill Batman too.
What? So these characters are as boring as drywall. fallen mentor that becomes a supervillain that attacks his personal loved ones, and the Master of Fear using Batman's inner fears to make him weak or lame villains. Okay.
Scarecrow went being his usual sniveling one-note self to being an unusual one-note self.
How is he sniveling in one note in Arkham Asylum? What the fuck? He's in a prison cell. He can't really have a master plan in there. Genius.
Yeah, the only thing only thing he could do is like mess around with his his chemical experiments. Like, what?
Even then, he has the same motivation as a knight. He was about to send fear toxin around the water supply to all of Gotham.
Yeah.
He has the same motive. What are you talking about? And also in Asylum, he was obsessed with breaking Batman's psyche. Like in this game. What's actually the contradiction of motivations? Oh, he's smarter now. Like, there's been a good amount of time, and Scarecrow could have just gotten more smarter, more subtle with his stuff. Yeah, showing a bunch of scenes of a villain that's known for his intelligence get beat up physically. Wow, what a good argument. Like, yeah, seriously, Godzilla? Like, you're a Spider-Man fan, right? Like, what's your thoughts on fucking Alistair Smythe? Like, serious, man? This is such a fucking stupid fucking argument. Even Dr. Octopus, it's like, he's not meant for fucking physical combat. But in general, it's like, yeah, Scarecrow's not known for his fucking immense fighting skills or his physical prowess. He's known for psychological tactics and his intelligence.
Instead of just being a henchman who gets off on the concept of fear.
Yeah, Scarecrow wasn't a henchman in Arkham Asylum. He worked completely independently of any other of the villains. Actually, in Arkham Asylum, if you don't know this already, when the Asylum had a breakout, Scarecrow, actually even before the Asylum broke out, Scarecrow actually manipulated the security cameras to keep notes on Batman, and he knew where Batman was in the Asylum at all times to shoot him with fear toxin.
Suddenly decides to be the god king of the world and flood the country with his fear gas. And he...
Yeah, what is that? What's contradicting about that? That's kind of what he wanted to do when he tried to fuck up the water supply in Asylum.
Wants to tear down the image of Batman and ruin his life. And he wants to destroy Gotham. And he wants to be the ruler of Gotham. After he destroys it, I guess. All this because...
That's not even a good point, because the whole point that what Scarecrow was trying to do is make people start learning how to fear again, because he's having a problem with Batman making people feel safe and secure and not afraid in the city anymore. And he believes that like fear is like the only way to live through life. So he's trying to fucking make everyone afraid again and make them feel powerless, because he doesn't like the concepts of superheroes coming in and making them feel okay and safe in the city. Because in his mind, if you live in a world without fear, then like life is meaningless. Then there's no reason to live.
Because his face angled by Killer Croc one time. I mean, if it was a simple revenge plot, you'd think he'd be more angry at Croc than, say,
He doesn't want revenge on Batman, you fucking idiot. And he doesn't want revenge on Gotham. He never states this. And also, yeah, he doesn't want revenge on Killer Croc. He doesn't care. I think Scarecrow's smart enough to know, oh, Killer Croc's just a big dumb animal. It wasn't personal. You're not even saying why his plan is stupid. Like, you're trying to like imply right here with the stupid song and shit that Scarecrow is stupid, but it's like, so he's stupid because he decides my motivations wants to be a little bit more, intelligent than just revenge.
How the hell did he know the fear toxin would make it look like she killed herself anyway? How the hell does he know what specifically Batman would be hallucinating from the fear toxin?
Because he was exposed to it earlier on. Like, again, Scarecrow knew that he failed the thing. Like, Scarecrow may have failed the thing in Ace Comics, but he knew Batman was trying to stop it and got exposed to it. Not to mention, Jason works with Scarecrow. Why wouldn't he tell him about Batman's weakness?
It was a really bad idea to imply that the Justice League exists in this universe.
No! No! Are you kidding me with this argument? Hey, why didn't the Avengers come and save the day during Winter Soldier?
That's all they were doing, just doing Easter eggs, I guess. That's
Superman is probably fucking busy fighting Darkseid or
some
shit.
Yeah, he's probably fighting Darkseid.
Why does that matter, man? Yeah, Superman isn't here right now. Superman isn't defending Gotham. He's in Metropolis. By the time Superman decides, oh, I have to stop Scarecrow, he would have already won. Batman would have been fucking dead. or he would have been broken, and the city's fucking spirit would have been broken, and would have been frayed forever. Such a dumb argument. Also, Fear-Toxin works on Superman. Let's just play this game. Yeah. Then Superman gets hit by Fear-Toxin. Game over. It's such a stupid argument. Like, usually, you just gotta either assume that Superman's busy with something else, or he's just not available. Because, like, that's usually the case anyways. It's like, there's so many other ways you can criticize a story, and, like, you maybe you actually use better context. Like, for example, if, like, the superhero is established to not be busy, and he still doesn't do anything, that's a different problem than fucking the superhero is canon in the universe, but we don't know where he is or what he's doing. It's not explained if he could or can't make it, so it's not a problem.
Batman, Superman, or the Flash will probably end up taking down Scarecrow anyway, so...
That's such a bad argument. Like, Scarecrow doesn't care about controlling the city forever. He wants to break it and break Batman. So that's irrelevant. Plus, by the time they're there, the damage is already done. Millions would have died, including Batman. That's still a fucking bad event. That's still a bad ending. Like, that's not good. Oh, well... Scarecrow may have won, but at least the entire universe didn't get blown up, so the events aren't that big of a deal. It's not that big of a fucking stakes.
Scarecrow's plan, shall we? He'll
Yes.
produce enough fear gas in the Ace Chemicals plant to destroy the city, which is now totally vacant.
Wrong. All of North America.
Whenever random criminals decide to stick around.
Yes.
Really, the only people who don't deserve getting gassed are the cops. One police station worth of people a world domination plan does not make, but...
I want to bring this up. Even if this was the plan, which it's not, he's just lying. Guess what? A whole bunch of innocent police officers and innocent people that are in the police station getting gassed to the point where they die from being afraid to death. That's pretty fucking horrible. Like, that's a horrible thing that would happen, and that's worth stopping. Not trying to dominate the world, too. I forgot about that one, too. Stop fucking saying he's trying to dominate the world or Gotham. You're just being fucking
with causing
wrong.
chaos and,
Dale's meme starts telling you of his evil, dastardly plan to use a device to blanket the city in fear gas. But this was just like a backup plan?
Yes. If Batman stops Ace Chemicals, he has access to Stag Enterprise to be able to use the Cloudburst. The Cloudburst mixed with the Fear Toxin makes a very specific thing from happening that the fear gas will keep replicating until it fills up all of the continent just in a slower fucking time span, because it's stated that the Cloudburst just keeps growing. It keeps growing the fear toxin. Also, it's weird because he's saying that, like, oh, Scarecrow causing a genocide in an entire city full of criminals isn't that big of a deal. Well, it's like, okay, just because they're criminals, that doesn't mean they deserve to die a horrible fucking death like this. Some of them are just rioters who just, like, mess up the streets and don't even do anything harmful.
How about that? Scarecrow attempts to blow the Ace Chemical...
Oh, by the way, it's pretty ironic, because he's here talking about all of Scarecrow's plan as the main villain, but then he's ranting about Joker being the main villain beforehand.
Contradicting. Not only in his Twitter post, but also in this video.
By the way, who cares if the Scarecrow's plan doesn't make any sense? Why can't you just have a suspension of disbelief, Xavier? Don't you know it's fiction?
No. Why can't you just realize that it's fiction? It's not real, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make any logical sense.
It's fiction, man. Why are you like? Why does it matter if his plan makes sense? It's fucking fiction. Seriously, dude. Like, you know, this is just like basic. These are just like terms and ideas to keep in mind for future Batman discourse, but you're just ignoring it all. Why don't you use authorial intent for how the story was supposed to be handled? Maybe the intent of the story was the fact that, like, he had a secondary plan, or he already thought of all this, man. Why are you asking these questions? Like, man, like, come on. Why are you ruining everything with, like, your toxic behavior and making, like, these stupid little nitpicks of the story just to feel like you got a one-up over someone else?
Building. Batman come and stop him. But while he's doing this, across town in the district that's already controlled by Arkham Knight's militia, activate the Cloudburst and Batman can't do shit to stop it.
Oh my fucking god, man. He's such an idiot. The Cloudburst is on Stag's airship, you fucking nunts. He has
come up
to
with this
set
action
up the
plan.
cloudburst. He has to mix it in with the fear toxin, and then he needs to order the proper fucking vehicle to carry the cloudburst in, which needs to be shipped in from the militia. And then he needs to figure out a way to remove the cloudburst from the fucking airship before it gets to ground level to the vehicle that he would need to order from the militia to be able to connect the cloudburst to the vehicle and then disperse it to the city. That's time consuming. That's not going to be done right away.
That island with all the tanks you have, so that the Batmobile would get annihilated if it set even one wheel on the bridge.
Okay, let's say you put all of your tanks on one fucking island. So now you're just gonna have a bunch of tanks clumped up on each other, and then there's gonna be something called like, what's it called again? Like when explosions like blow up on each other. Forgot the name of that. It's whatever. It's gonna have like a domino effect. Batman's gonna blow up one vehicle, and it's gonna fucking have a domino effect of blowing up the vehicles beside it because they're all gonna be clumped on one fucking island. You goddamn idiot. And if you mean like, you know, not exactly all of them, but too many for the Batmobile to handle, how much would you consider that being? And even if that was the case, Batman has more than a fucking Batmobile. He only called in the Batmobile because he didn't exactly need anything else at the moment. If he was genuinely needed to clear an island full of too many enemies, why would he just send his fucking his Batwing or the Batplane to just do an airstrike?
Joe and Arkham Knight, the person, not the game, are both ultimately undone by their obsession with stupid theatrics. They have all these...
You haven't named one theatrics that they fucking do in the game, though. What you're just naming is like the plan not making sense, which is hypocritical, thanks to your lovely tweet over here. But more importantly than just being hypocritical, it's fucking wrong. Like, seriously? You don't know, you're just not understanding the events of the story. Or how things take time, especially gassing a city. Takes fucking time to do, and if Batman stops it, you'll have to take more time to replan it. You're just not paying attention to the story properly. You're just trying to find an excuse to rant about it, probably because you just didn't like the Batmobile in the fucking game. Because that's what everyone usually actually complains about, not the story.
Any of them...
Okay, hang on. Good thing he forgot about the other two rockets in that thing. Yeah, you do know that Scarecrow made specific orders for Arkham Knight not to kill Batman in this scene. After he fucks over the cloudburst, Scarecrow starts getting a little bit desperate and using like more like personal things against the heroes. And then he just tries to use a more desperate thing of just using a video camera and trying to capture Batman.
Through everything at once, he wouldn't have any time to adapt, and the game would be over in
What do you mean throw everything at once? You know Batman's not the only enemy in the fucking game. They're trying to contain the entire city. They're trying to make sure super criminals don't fuck over their plan and the police. So they have to control all the city. This isn't just made specifically to fight Batman. This is DLC, but in the Mr. Freeze side mission, when the militia general decided to send everything he had at them to, like, you know, corner them, Batman already had a backup plan with Freeze to use this massive explosion to take them all out. So, if they try to do that, Batman would clearly just have a backup plan similar to that. He'll just try and, like, find a way to trap all of them from attacking him.
Who fucking cares if Gotham sees Batman fail?
Scarecrow does, you fucking idiot. Let's see his point about Arkham Knight.
His entire character was written around getting the word Arkham in the title.
Wow. Yeah, like, even if that's true, that doesn't mean it's badly written, so who cares? Let's continue.
Jason, dumbass who does nothing the whole game except talk about how he'll eventually do things.
Yeah, because Scarecrow's telling him not to kill Batman, so all he can do is talk shit at the moment. Also, like, he's not just talking shit, his point in the story is to control Gotham and be the leader of the militia, so, like, Batman would have a hard time taking it over. And he does do a lot of delay tactics, and he gives a lot of information to Scarecrow that really hurts Batman's progress. He's the reason why Scarecrow gets access to Barbara and Tim Drake.
But then to not get around to it.
You're showing a scene where he's getting around to it. This is the scene, dummy. He's getting around to fucking murdering Batman. He's going to kill him right now, and he made plans to.
Actually, before this scene, there's a literal... Yeah, he tried to... Like, he was in that big ass vehicle trying to crush
drill,
him.
more powerful than the Batmobile, to run him over, and he almost succeeded too. He destroyed the Batmobile in the process, and Batman escaped with the inch of his life. They make it very clear that Batman's kind of in denial, and he kind of knew all along. That's why he sees visions of Jason's past, because he's starting to have this bad feeling of what's actually happening. The reveal's not important to us, it's important to Batman. Batman just realizes that his greatest failure is here, and it's because of his fault.
For some reason, Batman's having flashbacks to events he wasn't even there for.
This was all recorded. Joker recorded this. You can actually see that Joker in one of the parts has a video camera on. But my point is, even if you don't see the recording in the first few flashbacks, it's safe to assume that Joker probably recorded all of them behind Jason's back and he just didn't know.
The scene implies that he had assumed Jason was dead by this point already and got a new Robin.
Yeah, he gets the recordings way after the events of Tim Drake becoming Robin. Like, they never state that, like, he knows about Jason being kidnapped here or anything. He didn't know about this, and by the time he gets the recordings of Joker, Jason Todd's already dead.
And he still can't figure out who the Arkham Knight is?
He's in denial.
Okay, isn't this scene before? This scene is way before Batman starts
way
thinking
before.
Jacob.
But even if he's talking about in general, here's the thing. Batman was clearly in denial because the moment Arkham Knight reveals himself, you notice, if you pay attention, Batman's not even that surprised.
Yeah.
He's not shocked. He's not like, holy shit, it's Jason. No, he's like, oh, I'm right, it's Jason. He knew it was Jason Todd.
You really have no idea, do you, Bruce?
Jason, but you're dead.
Let's not fall out here, Bats.
Yeah, like, if you see, he doesn't even sound that surprised. He's a little bit shocked, but he's not like, wow, I couldn't have guessed that. He's just like, Jason, but you're dead.
To a death scene for Jason, in which he's shot in a video that Batman watches and then never follows up on out of plot convenience. You mean to tell me that
What makes you say that? When is it ever stated Batman never followed up on this? So what do you want him to do? He can't find the body. So he probably did look for him. He probably looked for him in the asylum and all that. He couldn't find the body, and then he fucking probably hates Joker a little bit more because of it. And that's it. He sees a video of him dying, and he can never find Jason dead, which would mean, yeah, Jason died. I can't find any evidence. Joker hid him for years. Yeah, Batman couldn't find him. That's the point. He tried to. He just couldn't. Joker hid him too well. In a secret place that Batman never knew about in the asylum. Because Joker knows more about the asylum than Batman does.
Batman never looking for Jason and just took the video as evidence enough that he was a goner?
That was never stated. That was never even implied in the story that he saw the video and just called it a day. That was never there. You're just making this up.
Well, at the very least, he could have went to go get the body and give the poor kid a proper burial.
Where would he found the body?
He probably tried to look for him, but it was in a hidden compartment of the asylum he doesn't even know about. By the way, in Arkham Asylum, it's stated Batman's not allowed to go deep into the asylum because he might rally the more unstable inmates. He's not allowed to search the asylum properly or go too deep into it until the breakout happened in Arkham Asylum. That's why Joker escaped in the game, remember? So yeah, he can't even search it properly because he's not allowed to.
In the comics, Jason is beaten and killed in Africa, and he still goes to find him.
Yeah, Batman knew he was in Africa, and Joker didn't make it a secret where fucking Robin was gonna die.
Now they say it happened down the street.
Oh, and by the way, people consider that story shit too. People consider that story to be pretty badly written. The only impactful part was how Jason died, but the whole story was dumb. So who cares? That's actually very weird that he would guess he was in Africa.
Right off, Jason was tortured for months and mentally programmed to hate Batman, I guess.
My name is Jason Todd.
What do you mean, I guess, by the way? Are you serious? I guess, like, Joker turned him evil by manipulating him psychologically. Never seen that ever done in stories before. It's not like that's been a possibility through Joker's character. Jesus fucking Christ.
Instead of use this for something and, say, turn Jason into a Joker sidekick to hurt Batman's feelings.
Oh no, he did worse. He turned Jason Todd, he turned him willingly into a supervillain that wants to kill him. That's actually worse than what you're showing here. What you're showing here is basically mind control. Like, Tim Drake in the story has no fucking This is nothing. There's no fault at all of what he did as the Joker here, and he just kind of looked like the Joker and got cured from it later on. In Arkham Knight, Jason Todd becomes a scarred, damaged human being that's willing to kill Batman and cause a genocide. That's worse than this. That's more impactful. He just doesn't have makeup, so it's not as impactful to fucking Godzilla Mendoza.
Did Joker just miss and assume this was a kill shot before?
Joker didn't kill him, you moron. He didn't kill him. He faked his death so Batman wouldn't have to keep looking for him.
Before leaving other stuff? Did he actually plan to fake Jason's death?
Yes.
How did Jason get out of this situation and go scour the earth for a $4 billion anti-Batman army?
Joker's dead, you moron. Like, no shit, he would escape. What do you mean, how did he escape? I don't know. How does a highly trained professional killer who knows multiple combat styles and escape artistry learn to finally escape the Joker after being tortured for a bit? I wonder how he did that, guys.
Where did he get that money? Has he ever been to college?
Okay, I'll agree with this one. They don't explain how he gets his weaponry and stuff or the money or anything.
Time Comics, he stole money from Bruce, I think twice. Anyways, assuming so he stole money after his escape from Joker.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming with that money he got the equipment and gear and it started being a mercenary or for hire throughout other countries. In fact, Barbara explained that the Arkham Knight was involved in Middle Eastern countries, so so I'm assuming...
shit! I never thought about that. That's a good one. See what happens when you
talk.
talk.
I think it's Middle Eastern countries. It could be Markovia.
See what happens when you talk, you motherfucker. You make good points, and the video gets better.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is that Jason got his money through being a mercenary, and then the rest of the money came through the fight with Scarecrow's alliance with Penguin and Two-Face.
Yeah,
that's how he was able.
Yeah, the militia
that's how he was able to
by combinations of all the criminals' money.
Keep this. I think what pisses me off most about Arkham Knight, the person, is that he's such a half-assed adaptation of his awesome comic counterpart.
He's different. He's not adapting Red Hood. He's
not Red Hood going around taking down criminals in a brutal way. At least not until after the end of Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight
where he
doesn't hurt any criminals, actually, especially in the story.
He helped in the
characters.
In the comics, he killed a few of them. But that's fueled with other motivations.
So monumentally. The appeal of Red Hood is that he represents the flaws in Batman's philosophy and is one of the few characters in the DC universe who can make a legitimate argument.
So, what about the fact that one of Batman's philosophies is about being a man, warring on crime, and he ignores the casualties that he brings along with him, which includes Jason, and he turned Jason into a monster because of that.
Yeah.
Isn't that a good argument for his philosophy? It's not the no kill rule, but it's one of Batman's philosophies is the fact that he does bring in other people into his crusade, which is kind of irresponsible in a way, and Jason kind of proves this because not everyone's like Bruce. Some of them might break and turn into something
Jason,
horrible.
And Jason broke and he turned into the Arkham Knight whose whole entire goal was to ruin and destroy Batman. Red Hood, on the other hand, it was just proving a side point, saying that killing. It's like that scene with Punisher and Daredevil. He puts them down, they stay down.
That's not even true. He's not even right about Red Hood. Red Hood only questioned why Batman didn't kill the Joker. He even said, "I know. We're not talking about Dent or Penguin or Two-Face or Scarecrow. We're talking about him, just him."
Yeah, that's under the Red Hood the movie and comic. But if you read the story where Red Hood's preparing, the story that shows Red Hood's his training before he became Red Hood, Talia convinced him, "Why don't you become a better Batman?" And that's where he got the motivation to not only get that where it leads to the events of the Red Hood, where he questions why he didn't kill Joker, but also why he decided he should be more lethal in taking down the criminals.
Yeah,
that's why he took him.
Jason does believe it's better to kill people, but the point is, he doesn't stand against Batman's morals. He only stands against him not killing the Joker. He's okay with Batman not killing. It's just when it comes to the people that really need to die, he doesn't understand.
Jason Todd has every right to be angry that the Joker is still walking the streets and killing people on a daily basis, because it shows less of a moral integrity in Batman and more of just a weakness that anyone could exploit. His fear of crossing the line goes from being noble and heroic to more of a character flaw. But nah, that's too interesting. Jason should just be mad at him.
I want you.
Well, I think
Because he's broken. I mean, well,
it's
first
still
off,
fucking interesting because the whole point is that, like, instead of what if Jason Todd is against Batman morals, this is what if Jason Todd actually broke and became a monster because of
which
Batman.
is what happened.
It's Batman's fault.
Yeah.
Batman brought this little kid into his crusade of crime and turned him into a monster because of it. Like, that's another flaw. That's actually more interesting, too. It's like, okay, Batman's no kill rule. It's like, there's a reason he doesn't kill besides the fact that, like, oh, it's a character flaw or whatever. It's like, you know, if he starts killing, the police will be after him, right? Like, that's not fucking
Well, I mean,
okay.
it's not like Jason's like the, okay, I know this is going to sound a big, Jason's not the first one in the Bat family to bring, like, he's the one that made it more popular, like, that.
Batman's no kill rule has been explored so many
Like,
more
that's why
times
under Red Hood,
before.
like, what about, it's been explored so many times, and other, like, members of the Bat family, like, killing, like, opposition to him killing, like, what about Azrael? That, in his literal first appearance, it shows the difference between, Neil shows, like, writes him down and shows, like, the difference between him and Batman. And then there's Nightfall, where he becomes Batman temporarily and shows how he's being brutal, which leads to John Paul Valley and Bruce getting into a conflict.
Yeah,
Jason's not the one who started it.
And to be clear, we're not saying that Under the Red Hood's bad or anything, or is worse than Arkham Knight. The problem is when he's saying that Arkham Knight is not interesting because he doesn't have anything unique going on. It's like, here's what's more interesting to me, because I've already heard the story. Because here's the thing, I already heard the Red Hood story. I know it about it. I know Batman's weaknesses about killing people. We've heard the story a million times. Why don't we explore something a little bit less talked about?
Yeah,
and you know what that is? Batman's bringing children to fight crime, and that's fucking dangerous.
Which
And
leads
that's actually more of a character flaw. Batman's more concerned about building a family than the importance of their safety. That's a bit selfish if you think about it. He brought Jason into this world full of crime and horror and murder, and the kid finally, reality check comes in. The kid gets captured and he gets broken, and this is what he becomes. He becomes a monster because you put a little kid into war. You brought a kid to war, and he became a monster because of it. And that's Batman's fault. It's not Joker. It's not just Joker's fault that he got tortured. Joker wouldn't have tortured Jason if he never worked with Batman. If Batman decided to be responsible and not bring children into his like army of the Bat family, so many people would have been avoided. Once again, what about Barbara Gordon? She wouldn't have been crippled if Batman didn't let her join. Jason
or
wouldn't have been
her act.
Yeah, Jason wouldn't have been broken if it wasn't for Batman. Batman's concern about building his own personal family is a character flaw because he ignores the fact that he's bringing them into dangerous situations. And that's what Scarecrow, Joker, and Jason use against him. That's why Scarecrow uses Barbara's death to break him, because it's a weakness, because he never considers that all of this is his fault. Batman's greatest weakness in this game is building a family to not feel so alone. And that brings him like into a place where everyone else suffers because of his actions, because he's being selfish. That's why in the end of the game, he cuts all ties to the Bat family and either works alone or he dies so they don't have to suffer anymore.
Look, that's a great opportunity to kill Batman.
Oh look, that's a great opportunity to kill Spider-Man with the Dr. Octopus tentacle blade. But it's fiction, man. Why don't you use your suspension of disbelief is what you say for that. Or what you say for, like, how Spider-Man's not caught by the school for hiding his costume in the school in Homecoming. That's just fiction, right? But nah, here's you nitpicking a fucking scene right now. And it's even wrong because Scarecrow tells him not to kill him.
Or wait, never mind. He's gonna listen to Scarecrow and give up for no reason.
Yes, because he works with Scarecrow because they made an agreement.
Batman's got a bullet in his abdomen, he's on the ground helpless, he's surrounded by 500 armed...
Yeah, Arkham Knight is also motivated to break Batman, too. He wants to break his spirit before killing him. That's why he's working with Scarecrow in the first place. Once again, he's doing this to delay him. He doesn't want to kill him at this moment.
Men, what about now when you have two guns pointed at... Ah, forget it.
He got too close because he was getting angry, because he's a little bit mentally unstable over the whole situation. He's slowly breaking down. You can tell in the game that he's slowly getting less and less clever and more angry and and sloppy as the game goes on.
In a world where pretty much everyone thinks Batman killed the Joker, Jason's character doesn't have much...
That is not confirmed that people think Batman killed the Joker. Like, that's not like a
What?
majority considered thing.
Even worse when he tries to explain his anger and only comes off as sounding like an idiot.
You had so many chances to kill him. It's your fault Joker got to me.
How is that a bad point?
Because it's true. Like, Joker's finally dead. It doesn't change the fact what Batman
Batman
did
could have
was
killed him
wrong.
a long time ago, and that would have avoided everything too. Because, like, yeah, this Jason still has the understanding of you should kill the bad guys at this point too. It's not what he's mad about, really. He's mad about, like, the fact that, like, you know, Batman kind of brought him into this horrible situation and kind of left him there.
Every good argument he could make is gone. Every interesting...
Like what? What a good argument is he not making? He's not even trying to make an argument to Batman anyways. He just wants him dead. He doesn't care. Remember, he's a villain now. He's kind of broken. He doesn't give a shit about convincing Batman he's wrong. He wants him dead because Batman left him suffering for years. He has no motive to try and prove a point to Batman at all. He just wants to break him mentally and then kill him.
I mean, to be quite honest, the only flaw, like the flaw with Arkham Knight, is I guess his abrupt change into Red Hood at the end of the game. That's
Sure.
mine.
Yeah, sure.
Like-
I can kind of agree with that.
The only flaw is his abrupt change into Red Hood at the near end of the game.
Well, the reason why he changed...
Like, what made him have to change that?
Well, the reason why I think he changed was the fact that, like, Batman, like said he was sorry, and he tried to, like, promise him to, like, make things better. Like, he's kind of like showing that he's here for him now, and I think, like, he just kind of, like, realized that. Because he was mad because he thought, like, Batman didn't care about him. And that's why he wanted to kill him, because he thought Batman was only using him to fight crime. So the moment Batman showed that he cared and that he was willing to just kind of like let himself get shot. Because remember, Jason was pointing a gun and Batman kind of like stayed there. He didn't fight back or anything. He just kind of tried to apologize and say, "I want to help you," like even despite Jason possibly killing him. I think that's when he realized that he actually is cared for by Bruce.
I mean, yeah, I think you might be right about that, because I remember in the tie-in, like Jason mentions that he first thought Bruce wanted a partner, but then he realized he didn't, because Bruce gave him called him out for his recklessness during his fight with Deathstroke before his encounter with the Joker. So yeah, that might be true, but I still think it's a bit of too much of an abrupt change to just turn into the Red Hood all of a sudden.
I mean, I don't think he turned into the Red Hood. He just kind of saved Batman from Scarecrow.
Yeah, but then right afterwards, if you play the Red Hood DLC, which takes place after...
how long has that been?
That's a good point. I'm pretty sure it's not too long.
Who turns evil, wears a clunky robot suit, hates his old mentor for no reason.
For no reason. So your mentor leaves you to die and get tortured by his greatest enemy, and you have no problem with that? You're not going to hate him for that? He doesn't care and replaces you right away?
And it's Batman. He's the dumbest villain. For whatever reason, this game forces him to make every wrong decision imaginable. And it's
That's going a little bit too far, but let's see what you got, sir.
Batman's humanity and vulnerability. He's just acting like an asshole. I think all things considered...
How does Batman act like an asshole? Like, in the scene you just showed there beforehand, you just show him being, like, saying the truth to Commissioner Gordon.
Can't help but ask, why the hell does Batman think tonight's the night when it all goes up in flames?
Because he's going to do the Nightfall Protocol. Plus, like, if you play after, like, before the ending of the game, I can kind of understand this point. But first of all, you're talking about side missions. This isn't the main story, so I don't know why you're wasting time here. And secondly, yeah, once again, he's planning on doing the Nightfall Protocol. And this game story is kind of showing that this is taking a toll on Batman. He doesn't feel like he might win this one.
I mean, Arkham Knight and Scarecrow are kind of bad at their job, and he doesn't exactly seem to...
They're bad at their job, but they have an entire militia force controlling all of Gotham. And he's just one man with a tank and a flying jet. Seriously?
...to be showing a ton of symptoms of turning into Bat Joker other than the eye color.
Yeah, but he believes he's turning into the Joker because he's scared. It's the fear toxin, like, eating away in him.
In fact, a slight turn of events, and the entire ending could be avoided, and Batman could continue his life unabated with everything going just fine.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that Batman would be acting the way he's acting in those scenes in the fucking side missions.
After Batman succeeds in taking down pretty much everything in his path, as per his custom, the thrilling climax to World of Tanks Batman Edition is that Scarecrow is by himself in a room with a gun and 2 hostages. Okay. This is Batman we're talking about.
Oh my god! Are you fucking kidding me? That's not an argument. Oh, he's Batman, so that makes it dumb. You serious? Yeah, Scarecrow has a gun trained on two people that he extremely cares about. A father figure and a son figure. He is completely trapped into a fucking, like, what's it called? Like some kind of bed thing. He's, like, completely locked in there and has no means of escape at the moment. And even if he did, it wouldn't be fast enough for them to not get shot.
Okay, let's just assume Scarecrow doesn't know, like, the true relation. Like, he doesn't know, because he doesn't know he's Bruce Wayne. He doesn't know what Commissioner Gordon... He knows Batman's worked a lot with Commissioner Gordon and his sidekick. So why wouldn't Batman be, he doesn't want to see them harmed. He also knows that Commissioner Gordon's daughter is working for Batman. So he's probably assuming that Commissioner Gordon has a bit of a close relation with them. And he has his partner in gunpoint, literally. Like, why wouldn't he not be worried? So how is this? So what exactly is the problem with this? And claiming it's as bad as Mass Effect 3's ending? No, sorry, that's a hot take. That's just a hot take.
I'm not one of those guys who overhypes Batman to death and says he can beat anybody ever,
But you are doing that right now. You're saying that Batman, in a situation where innocent people are in danger, can save it all while being completely trapped in a device.
This is one of the times where I feel like
What's he supposed to do?
Probably handle it.
What should he be doing?
There's a storage depot in Kingston. Go there alone, or your friends will die.
Yeah.
Dick.
Scarecrow has Batman go to this shady-ass warehouse and leave behind his utility belt under threat of executing Jim and Tim.
Makes sense.
Batman doesn't need his utility belt to get out of rough situations, it just helps. The suit is filled to burst with lockpicks and secret components and...
It doesn't matter. Anytime he would try to escape, they're dead.
Yeah, he's in a trap situation. And if you're
going
to say...
a dozen types of tracking devices to let Alfred, Nightwing, and Robin know where he is. So forget all that. The utility belt makes the man. Without it, he is nothing.
That's not what the game's saying. The whole problem right now is Batman could solve anything, but he's in a situation where people that he brought into the conflict are going to die. The whole point of this scene is trying to tell us that ever since Batman keeps bringing in people to his war on crime, they keep getting harmed. And this time, unlike the rest of the time, he's going to do anything in his capability to prevent it because he never wants it to happen again. He's taking responsibility for his actions and for the people that he brought into this situation.
Yeah, and it's...
Batman has a long, weird spirit journey in the back of the truck, and by the time he gets to the ruins of Arkham Asylum, all that's left to oppose him is Scarecrow holding a gun. In the middle of this hazy transition, Batman had to consciously let Scarecrow strap him to a...
Yeah, there's armed guards training their guns on Robin and Jim Gordon, and if he resisted, they would probably get shot.
And it's not like he can rely on Nightwing for help, because, I mean...
Nightwing's busy.
Nightwing's busy, and even if he was available, I'm pretty sure that Nightwing can take out the guards in time to save them. It'd be too risky.
By the way, Batman already has a plan of escape anyways in this scene. He knows Jason Todd's going to track him and, save his life. So why not be complicit? He already has his plan, and it works perfectly in the story.
He's holding a gun in one hand and a glove of syringes in the other.
Yeah, Batman can't do anything at this moment. He's literally stuck in a fucking containment thing.
Someone please, for the love of God, explain this to me.
Sure.
Oh, the humanity! If only Batman was some kind of expert escape artist and could...
He may be able to escape.
Okay, he escapes. Boom! Gordon or Red Hood or Red Robin.
Yeah, Tim Drake you think him escaping is going to be quiet? He's going to make a bunch of noise. Scarecrow's be, what the fuck? He gets out. Bang! Dead. One of them's fucking shot in the skull. Then what? oh, Batman starts to stop Scarecrow, so it's fine. Get the fuck out of here. First, he has to break out of the fucking bonds, and here's the problem: breaking out of those bonds is probably gonna take time. Like, let's pretend there's maybe a lock in the bonds that's there holding them, and he has to lockpick it. That's gonna take time, and that might make a bit of a noise. And by the time he opens the shackle, it's gonna make the bonds are gonna make a noise. It's gonna make a big metal creaking noise that's opening, and Scarecrow would hear that, and then he would shoot someone before Batman breaks out of the other one.
Exactly.
First, Batman has to break out, and then he has to do a takedown. And by the way, let's play the game. Let's pretend somehow he can silently break out of use his escape artistry skills, and he'll break out eventually. Here's the thing. Breaking out, escaping from things like this takes time. It takes a lot of time and effort to do. He's not going to instantly break out and take out Scarecrow. So Scarecrow will still have enough time to threaten his fucking family with the gun and then unmask him before he would be able to break out. Besides, if you pay attention to the ending, Batman actually does use his escape artistry to break out. I can actually show you guys. Alright?
I'm not afraid, Crane.
Pay attention to this. Everyone, pay attention.
Impossible.
Okay. Watch.
Okay, helps him with one
Watch.
of these.
Pay attention. His right hand is free and it wasn't shot. What do you think he was doing? Listen, there's even an unlocking sound. Listen closely. Listen. Did you hear that? He unlocked the fucking lock on his right hand. He was doing it anyways. Okay, so let's say he's like lockpicking now. Let's just pretend he is, even if he's not. Who cares? It's gonna take time and effort, so he will get a speech in. He's pointing a gun at him. Remember, I showed you the scene of him lockpicking one on his right hand. That made a click noise. You'd think if he makes a clicking noise like that, Scarecrow would turn around and notice what he's doing before his other arm's free, and then one of them would be shot.
You bastard!
But yeah, right now, let's pretend Batman still needs time to lockpick it.
Take off that mask.
And now there's
or my
gun
next
trained
shot
already
will kill him.
on innocent people.
It's okay. It's not okay.
You need to trust me.
And then, like, he gets unmasked. Even if he was using his escape artistry skills here, he would not have enough time to break out before he gets unmasked, or before Scarecrow starts training his gun on Jim Gordon and Robin. Yeah. So he just fucking missed that.
One swift and... Oh god, he's so helpless! Someone do something!
Shut up.
To coin a phrase... What are you, dense? Are you retarded or something? Who the hell do you think I am? I'm the goddamn Batman.
So your criticism is, why didn't Batman solve the situation? Isn't he supposed to be a Gary Stu? That's your argument right now. Thanks, Godzilla. What a great video. Besides, why are you making these arguments? Aren't you supposed to just have suspension of disbelief, dude? Aren't you supposed to realize this is fiction and stuff like this happens?
Yeah, and it's not supposed to be realistic.
What about authorial intent, dude? Like, you should use this for future Batman discourse.
Huh.
You're gonna continue.
The reason the ending of Mass Effect 3 pisses people off, or one of the many reasons anyway, is that Shepard suddenly forgets how to talk his way through a situation. If there's one thing he's been an absolute expert at all the way to this point, it's convincing people to do things for him or agree with his perception.
Okay, if someone said, what is the one thing Batman's really good at, the last thing I would say is escape artistry. I would say he's really good at being a detective or something.
I think you see what I'm getting at here. This ending makes Batman just flat out give up and let a B-list villain destroy him.
Scarecrow takes over all of Gotham, and you're calling him a B-list villain. Just let that sink in, everybody.
Why he gives up? It's not for any good reason. It's because
No, it's because he wants to keep the people he cares about safe. That's a pretty good reason.
Rocksteady was tired of making Batman games.
This
What the okay, when have they ever said that, actually?
is how the Batman died.
Yeah, they are. This is like the third game. They're done with it. It doesn't mean they're tired of making Batman games. They're just done after this game. They probably worked really hard, and they're like, yeah, after this we're done, because this is the ending of the series.
Batman himself acts incredibly out of character and borderline...
You're not... Okay, he's not out of character. Like, even if you want to say... Even if the escape artist's point is correct, doesn't mean he's out of character. It means that the plot forgot one of his abilities. That's not out of character. That's such a stupid fucking argument.
Batman loses scenario because they wanted to make it clear that they're done and want to go work on other things.
That could be the reason they made it. Doesn't mean the story's bad.
The Dark Knight movie series did something similar, but they didn't have all the characters become dangerously incompetent to create this situation.
Oh no. My god. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious?
The characters are more competent than fucking...
The Dark Knight Rises is one of the worst Batman movies ever. Are you fucking serious?
You mean Commissioner Gordon?
Yeah, Commissioner Gordon's not stupid in The Dark Knight Rises when he sends the entire police force in a fucking sewer.
Yeah, definitely not. Or how Batman somehow... Actually, no, he's not even making that argument in there. I'm not even going to point that out.
Arkham Knight, no matter what, is objectively a better story than Dark Knight. Get the fuck out of here.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, Dark Knight Rises, sorry. Dark Knight Rises, like, easily. Not even a competition. What a fucking garbage take.
They wall around Batman's main character powers and let it fade out more naturally. I'm not saying you can't tell a story where Batman effectively ends. They've done that a few times, actually. I'm saying you can't do it in such an insulting way.
Dark Knight Rises was insulting. You had incompetent characters with bad writing all over that fucking movie. Holy fuck.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, man.
At least, like, Bruce Wayne surviving the explosion in Arkham Knight, I mean, in this game, makes way more sense than Bruce somehow surviving that nuclear explosion when he, got the bomb out of Gotham City. Like, how the hell does he survive it? If you're gonna say I don't know if he's gonna say it because we gotta watch the rest of the video.
Godzilla, you do realize Batman...
Wait, hold on. I pointed out... if we go back, he did brought in the Dark Knight Returns, correct? Like, as one of the examples of where you could show a story where Batman, quote-unquote, dies or loses?
Yeah.
Okay, because if he's gonna say the problem with Bruce surviving after the explosion, then that's kind of hypocritical, because he's not mentioning that's what happens in the Dark Knight Returns.
I don't think he's going to mention that, but more importantly, Godzilla, you know what's more out of character for Batman? For Bruce Wayne to give up being Batman because he's sad about a girl dying in The Dark Knight Rises. He gave up for no reason in that film. He literally had no reason. He just decided to give up. Even though after Rachel died in The Dark Knight, he was still willing to be Batman, and his lesson in that film was to endure, the sacrifices to do the right thing, even if he's not seen as the hero by anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, let's continue.
This game sidesteps any interesting themes or character growth, but when the circumstances surrounding those are so pants-on-head stupid, it's hard to take them seriously.
You haven't shown one example of any of this story being stupid.
Batman succumbs to his weird mind trip with the Joker for a bit and soon figures out a way to overpower his personal boogeyman. Cool, fine, whatever. Where the hell are any of his friends?
Nightwing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They are all established in this game to be doing other things. Nightwing is dealing with Penguin and/or Killer Croc. Tim Drake is dealing. Tim
Drake is captured. Wait, hold on. I don't know if he's referring, but if we're talking about I think this is still on his endpoint. Yeah, Catwoman, depending on the circumstances, is either out of Gotham City or is still trapped by the Riddler. Because
plus Batman told her to leave. Batman told her not to interfere.
Yeah, depending.
And if this takes place after you beat both of their side missions, then two people who care about Batman a lot.
Yeah, Nightwing is at Bloodhaven, and he would not make it in time to Arkham Asylum to stop whatever happens. And Catwoman, once again,
he probably was trying to make it there, but again, Arkham Asylum's too far from Bloodhaven, so he wouldn't make it.
Yeah, he went to Bloodhaven. Batman told him to.
And if he tried to bring in the Batwing, that would just alarm attention. It's like, oh shit!
Nightwing doesn't have access to that, so.
No. Let's just say, for argument's sake, he's got the Batwing now. Okay, you know what's gonna happen? Scarecrow's gonna shoot someone. That's what's gonna happen because that's way too. He'll know, like, oh shit, Batwing. Okay, well I'm gonna shoot someone.
So bad.
So instead of the logical option, we get Jason Todd swooping into...
How is it illogical that Jason Todd would be the one tracking him, when Jason Todd probably has been tracking him the entire game?
Save the day a whole 5 minutes too late. Why the fuck did he even
Yeah, it takes time to get to Arkham Asylum. When like Batman gets there by a van, like Jason Todd gets there by foot. Of course, it's gonna take a bit of time.
I forgot. How do you? Oh wait, hold on. I forget. Does it establish that in the game that you know that Jason's tracking you at that point?
Yeah, Alfred says someone's tracking you, and he's like, "Yeah, keep it. Let him track me." That's what I'm saying. He already had a plan to escape. It's just too late.
Him and Batman never really made amends. He just beat him up
Hang on
and
a
said
second.
sorry.
Oh no! Listen to
Thank you,
this.
Dick. I appreciate
Oh
it.
my
So
god.
instead of the logical option, we get Jason Todd swooping in to save the day a whole 5 minutes too late. Why the fuck did he even bother coming back here? Him and Batman...
How the fuck did he free his other arm? Wow, man, you literally just said he's an escape artist master, and then you're here questioning how he escaped the escape artist? What?
I mean, how do you use this escape? Like, how
What
did he
the
escape?
fuck?
Because how
He's
did
an
the
escape
artist
artist,
escape?
and he has things in his fucking gloves and stuff. He doesn't need his utility belt. That's what you said. What are you? He's literally exposed himself here. Wow. Like, what do you think, Godzilla? Maybe he did the thing that you wanted him to do.
Batman never really ends. He just beat him up and said sorry.
I'm sorry.
That was enough for Jason.
I actually want to make sure. I remember him saying more.
You did this to me.
I'm sorry.
You left me to rot in that abandoned wing of Arkham for over a year. With him.
It's not too late. We can fix this. Together.
Yeah, he does say more than I'm sorry, so that's wrong. He literally says it's not too late. We could fix this together.
And he was back.
Why did Jason change his mind here? It's because he realizes that Batman does care, that Bruce does care for him. He's not beating him up or anything. He's holding out his hand and he's saying, "I want to help you because I care about you."
Yeah,
because that's what
pretty
Jason wanted to know.
disingenuous.
Jason thought Batman didn't care about him and was just using him to fight crime. That's his problem. That's why because you got replaced really quickly. Remember? That's how Joker made him break. So when Batman comes in here and proves that he cares about him by putting his hand out, saying, "I want to help. I want to help you through this together," kind of like how a dad would say it to like their troubled son. That's when he realizes that he does actually care for him, and that what Joker was doing is wrong, and he starts getting back into his senses a bit. So no, there is a lot more that happens there.
So after 19 hours of grinding on the side missions, he mysteriously stumbles into his house. It explodes on live television, and then a bat person, presumably using fear toxin, shows up in the epilogue to gobble up some criminals. Congratulations, everybody! This is what this entire award-winning series was building up to. Was it all worth it? I also took the clip off of YouTube instead of getting it myself because Riddler trophies. God!
Lazy bitch. That's my counter to that. You didn't even do it once. Get the fuck out of here. Not even once. You didn't just do all the Riddler trophies once. I understand not doing it if you want to replay the game, but not even once.
Him using the fear toxins is a bit, I don't know, questionable, but...
The ending is supposed to be a little bit 50-50. I don't think there's, like, what's the problem with the ending? You didn't say anything. You just said, "Oh, that's the ending." It's like, okay, cool. That's why I didn't pause it.
I mean, it's similar to the Dark Knight. It's like he still continues his crime activities afterwards. It's just that he's not the one being Batman. Instead, it's someone else.
Maybe he
He's
is.
leading.
Maybe he is, though. Who knows?
Oh, no, I'm talking about, like, Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not going to mention the horrible sequel, no. But, like, in the ending of Dark Knight Returns, it's like, yeah, he's training a bunch of the next generation. In Arkham Knight, it's just, he's probably continuing his activities. I'll admit, it's a bit vague, but, I mean, that was done on purpose, so...
I believe that it is Batman, because I think it's like the whole thing about Batman is his character is he's willing to sacrifice his happiness to do the right thing. And what's interesting, he's willing to sacrifice his second family to be a hero and save so many more people. That's actually a pretty heartwarming ending. He loses his parents, and he always had that fear of experiencing something tragic like that happening again, and that's what Arkham Knight's about. He's afraid of losing his family or being the reason his family goes away. And in the end of the game, he decides he's going to sacrifice having his family, having a second family, to do the right thing. He willingly lets go of his family this time. That's actually a really beautiful message if you think about it that way. But whatever, that's the ending is supposed to be interpreted. Maybe it is just fear toxin, and they're just the legacy of Batman lives on, and Bruce is dead. Let's continue.
God, what a mess. I'm surprised more people aren't tearing their hair out with anger at how this game turned out.
Because not everybody likes to shit on Batman, but defends Spider-Man with these fucking tweets going, why don't you just use suspension of disbelief and all this bullshit? A basic understanding of how CGI works, guys. Isn't this fiction?
I mean, suspension of disbelief should only lead to us accepting certain things,
so when
but
it's,
not
so when
completely
it's
throwing out all logic out of the table.
So when it's Batman, you can put your super duper critical eye on the game and fucking make as many criticisms as you want, true or not, true or false, who cares? You can do all these little criticism things, and then you go right to Spider-Man and you criticize fucking Spider-Man 2 and Homecoming, and then you bring in this fucking bullshit.
Acting is stellar, but everything else is either underwhelming, overwhelming, or just stupid.
Well, okay, sure, Deathstroke is underwhelming. Isn't it kind of, does it feel like a satisfying payoff with Azrael? Because I'd think so.
Yeah, I mean...
Same goes for the Professor Pig one. That was really fun. That was a great payoff to doing that side mission. Same goes for, taking down the Penguin and shit. There's a lot of great missions in Arkham Knight's side missions. Best side missions in the Arkham franchise. Fight me.
Flaws are so massive, yet avoidable. There is so much wasted potential here.
This is just a bunch of flowery nonsense. You're not actually making arguments anymore. Maybe because you think you made arguments, but your arguments suck. So I'm just here going, can you bring in citation? Because you're not actually proving anything, just saying this.
And that's worse than just making a game that's bad. It's a game that's mediocre at best, even though it could have been amazing. If the Batmobile was used sparingly, if the script had 8 more...
Why are you ranting about... Okay, oh yeah, because he does talk about gameplay in his other section. Fucking... I'm not even gonna mention the Batmobile. That would be we could do another video on fucking gameplay. We're just talking about the story here.
Drafts to iron out all the nonsense. If Harley Quinn wore this the whole game, if the gameplay felt more balanced, if the side missions didn't feel like busy work, if the boss...
Better than walking into a room, picking up a gadget, and walking out. That's literally a side mission in City. Get the fuck out of here about this bullshit.
Fights didn't suck. If the Riddler segments were actually fun and challenging instead of just tedious.
I'm gonna take a hot take. The best Riddler trophy stuff is in Arkham Knight. It actually is the most challenging. City is a little bit too boring. City's boring and very simple, and Asylum is you just kind of walk up and pick it up most of the time.
So all you're doing after you complete the main story is you're collecting the trophies and just walking around, or getting those.
You're only doing the Riddler trophy so you can play the challenge maps, honestly.
Yeah.
If the mask Batman's face in a way that didn't look horribly tight and uncomfortable, then
it doesn't.
It would have been a fantastic game, and there is nothing worse than stumbling right before the finish line. On the positive side, there's no way this will be the last Batman game of its kind. I'm sure if a different developer doesn't pick it up, Rocksteady will start a new series that borrows design elements from this one. And I'm really excited to see where the Telltale series goes after its first season. I just wish this one had turned out differently, because I love the Arkham games. They're some of my
Sure you do.
absolute favorites, and I feel like it's a series that deserved better than to end up like this. Keep in mind...
The thing is, Xavier, people who criticize Spider-Man 2, they love the Raimi trilogy. They just find criticisms that they want to talk about, and you're here saying this shit.
What? Okay.
If this is your favorite game ever, for whatever reason, that's totally fine. My opinion is not fact, and you aren't wrong if you like things about this game. Let's just skip all the...
No, man, this game's perfect. You're just a hater, bro.
Nah, man, this game's perfect. You're just a hater, bro. That's my statement for the day.
At least going with the arguments you
Can't afford to
presented.
lose any more brain cells. We're down to double digits.
I mean, you haven't tried to fucking make an argument. Don't talk about brain cells, dude. Your argument is
either misleading with your arguments.
You just say shit and you haven't really tried. You haven't paid attention to the story enough, and you didn't really go deep into this. You just kind of flew out whatever you thought was bad, and you didn't think it through.
That being said, is Arkham Origins actually that bad? Now that I think about it, that one had some neat stuff in it despite being kind of cheaply made. Shit, I'm gonna go fucking play that one again.
Oh, guess that's the end of the
Have fun with frame rate drop. I'm gonna play Arkham Knight, bitch.
Arkham Knight.
And that is the video.
Oh God.
So
Yeah.
just to keep this in everyone's head, this is how he would treat Batman content. Now let's see how he treats people criticizing Spider-Man content the same way. Spider-Man movie discourse has reached a new low of weird bullshit nitpicking. How can Tom Holland's Spidey hide his costume in a school with security cameras, quote unquote? Why does Toby get fired from a pizza place, and why doesn't he liquefy Doc Ock's head with a single punch, quote unquote?
Okay, what? No,
Like,
people are just complaining why he doesn't knock him out, but okay, I don't...
Yeah, he's just strawmanning what people are actually saying, but okay. Like, I don't know how to put into words how consistently embarrassing it is to be in this fandom when all you guys do is talk in circles in a contest to see who can make the dumbest, most nonsensical point as a gotcha at the movies you don't like. Hang on. Man, Xavier, I don't know how consistently embarrassing it is to be in this fandom when you are making this Arkham Knight video that, quote unquote, is just talking in circles in a contest to see who can make the dumbest, most nonsensical point as a gotcha at the games you don't like. And this goes to all the people who should be smart enough to know better at this point. Stop engaging and amplifying the dumb hot takes for the 14-year-olds on here. Just block or mute or move on. Dunking on them is just feeding into the cycle. Almost like stop feeding to the cycle with Batman Arkham's community, dude. Why are you always dunking on them with the Arkham Knight takes?
Yeah,
why don't you just block or mute the people who like the game?
Is better? God.
It's also frustrating how everyone in every camp seems to give so little of a shit about the comics and only discuss them or bring them up as a way to refute or support arguments about miscellaneous tiny details from the movies. No one just talks about them alone. Yeah, it's funny how you do not bring up the comics and you call Scarecrow a B-list villain for Arkham Knight. How about that? And then here's the quote I've been using this whole time. Xavier, you're a great YouTuber, at least back in the day with your Spider-Man videos, but this shit is fucking embarrassing. This pushed us to make this video. We were already planning on responding to your Arkham Knight video because it is trash, but it doubly pisses me off now because of the fact that you say this when people do the same shit to Spider-Man 2 and Homecoming. This is embarrassing. You either allow people to criticize things like you were doing in this video, or you fuck off and you don't make your Arkham Knight video. Because that's fucking hypocritical to the max. It's okay when you do it to Batman over here, but the moment people do it to the precious Spider-Man movies, now it's a problem.
Yeah. Oof. Especially with the hot takes. I mean, come on. Dark Knight Rises is better than Arkham Knight story. Come on.
Exactly. This is embarrassing shit, dude. Like, if you were just complaining about, like, fucking, I'm sick of the movie discourse because it is getting toxic with people insulting each other or whining at each other and shit, that's fine. But the complaint that people are talking about criticisms in the movies is not fucking fair because you do that in your videos. Let's actually look at your channel. I'm going even further. Let's look at your channel. All right. Godzilla Mendoza. Let's look at your channel because you're so sick of people finding these gotcha moments and criticizing media. Let's see what you do. All right. Well, let's just go by titles alone. Let's start from the top. So, what makes Spider-Man Miles Morales different? How to get Moon Knight right? Like, already, like, complaining about it and not... Oh, and what did you say in one of these? Hang on a second. Hang on. It's also frustrating how everyone in every camp seems to give so little of a shit about the comics and only really discuss them or bring them up as a way to refute or support arguments for miscellaneous tiny details for the movies, instead of discuss them on their alone. Yeah, Look at you comparing the show that didn't even come out yet to the comics, which is what you do in this video. What do you mean Avengers is not quite good? Like, why do you have to start, quote-unquote, nitpicking? Why can't you use your suspension of disbelief and enjoy the fiction, man? Let me keep going down. Try to find the Punisher one, because I know that one has a fucking title that's annoying. Spider-Man fans suck. How to fix Miles Morales. Like, what do you mean by that, dude? Like, why do you have to always compare everything to, like, the comics? Why does it have to be about the comics and finding the miscellaneous details that make him too similar to Peter? Just for a gotcha moment because you don't like Miles, man. Alright. So, yeah, that's all for this video. Any closing thoughts on the video, Talon?
It's just really hypocritical, and with, like, everything he said right here, like, all his, like, quote-unquote arguments, I mean, by his whole leap of logic, they're nitpicks. Other than that, yeah, this video is, for the most part, bad. He either gets information blatantly wrong or he out lies, and then the 39 seconds of criticizing Arkham City, apparently beating up Ra's al Ghul and having him be the guy supporting Hugo Strange is a bad thing. Seriously?
Yeah. Hashtag Godzilla Mendoza has a bad take. That's all I gotta say.
But yeah.
Hashtag Godzilla Mendoza made me mad. Yeah,
God.
This video is fucking, it's messy. He didn't think through it properly. Like, to set aside if any of you think Arkham Knight's good or bad, that's not the point. The point is he didn't think through his video. He just threw out this video to shit on the game before actually thinking through it. Like, he didn't want to construct anything that would be helpful or insightful. He just spattered out shit and then he just expected it to stick. All right. Well, this has been the second episode of GCMR. Next time, we're probably going to be doing Assassin's Creed 2. Someone says Assassin's Creed 2 isn't that good or whatever.
Sorry, what? Oh yeah. Overall lies, I'm right.
Yeah, the video we're watching, this guy compares Assassin's Creed 2 to The Last of Us 2. So that's going to be fun, isn't it?
Hate that video.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys.